afternoon, Monique Carlisle. It is a delight to have you here today. I am so excited, and we're not flooded out, so that's even better. Now, Monique, what are some of your favorite quotes and why?
So one of my favorite quotes I've recently been embracing is life is made for living. And don't ask me who said it because I don't know, but it really, to me, I used to work long hours. I was a teacher by trade and spending all of my time and all of my energy on other people and other people's kids and other families. And my own was not being taken care of. And my kids didn't see me, and I was always tired and stressed. And, I just realized that life is not made for working, 12 hours a day. It was made for living. It's made for finding your passions and your hobbies and your interests and then doing them intentionally. And I've recently just been kind of looking at people and being like, oh, you like fishing. I'm so glad that you like fishing. And that's where they want to spend their time and their energy. They're living their best life when they go fishing or when they go roller skating or when they go, like my kids like to bike. So life is made for living. And if you're not living, then, you probably want to think about that. But that's something that I've been living by.
Wow. Do you have another quote, or is that, that's a great quote right there.
Yeah. The other one kind of goes along with it. It's that whether you can or you can't, you're right. And I think Dr. Seuss said that, but I could be wrong. Yeah. And I'll be honest, I did not understand this quote, but I've known it for a while, and it always resonated with me. And I used it when I was a teacher. And I've recently come into an understanding that it really refers to how you talk to yourself. It really refers to what your inner voice is telling you in the dark. And if you're constantly telling yourself you can't do it, you're right. You're not going to give yourself the time, the space, the energy to try, to take risks, to go out and be successful. So if you tell yourself you can't, you can't. But if you just shift that just a little and you believe in yourself and you start telling yourself you can do X, Y, Z. Your dreams can come true. You can find more time or energy, and you plug it in, you can lose weight. You can, get that job. You can, finish that degree program, whatever it is for you. And you can, because then you'll be giving yourself that confidence and that inner belief. And that's where it starts. It starts with believing in yourself. And then other people can see you and believe in you. And what's really interesting is when you start believing in yourself, you're more able to accept that other people believe in you.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that one of the things that I know that in my business is that a lot of women are the mindset of, I can't do this, or because of whatever. And, we can just take that leap. There's a great book by Gay Hendricks. It's called The Big Leap. And it's about owning your own business. I don't know if you've read it. It's a great book if you haven't. And he talks about that, because just taking that leap, and even if you're not 100% sure, taking the leap. I know I did, and I'm very grateful that I did. I have no regrets whatsoever. And I also was a teacher, and I worked 15-hour days, weekends, holidays, you name it. And I hear you. And there is a balance, and I think it's all just being consistent and looking at the little things that we do right. Like I make my bed every day. Good, Jody. Good girl. I'm so glad you made your bed. Kind of like a teacher would compliment, and we find something to compliment about each child.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, that's so true. That is so true. What's been your biggest obstacle? Because you've had some challenges, and also I want to add, you are a mother of not one, not two, not three, 5 kids. 5 guys, 5. That is a lot.
It is a lot. And I won't get into my whole life story right now, but I would say my biggest obstacle was leaving my husband. It was going back to those quotes. That was not the life that those quotes were really leading me to. I was not intentionally doing the things I want to do. I was not believing in myself. and I wasn't surrounded by people who believed in me. And so it just came to a point where I had to just get out. I had to leave that negative environment and surround myself with positive literature, positive people who believed in me. I had to remake friendships. That was hard. I ended up moving an hour and a half away from my kids. Just, and hindsight's 2020, and we can all look back and say I could have made different choices in a different sequence, but that was the hardest part, was living so far from them, trying to give them everything I had. I was still a teacher at that time. It was only recently that I moved out of the education field. That was my biggest obstacle, was figuring out how to give them what they needed when I wasn't even being given what I needed. And that's why I had to leave. I wasn't there for them the way they needed me. That was my biggest obstacle, was really leaving my then husband.
I think that takes a tremendous amount of courage, tremendous amount. I know many women who would not leave if their children were underage, so to speak. And to have that belief in yourself somewhere deep inside, and this is really what a lot of us women do, that there's somewhere that we're just burning to come out, and we deserve to have it come out. When it comes out, it's our private decision. But that you had the courage and the willingness to go through that, I really respect, because I'm sure we both know many people that won't do that.
Yeah. And it was, I won't say it's an easy decision. It's actually, I was there for 15 years, and that was why I stayed for so long, is I always had a child under a certain age, and I couldn't leave. But it just got to a point where my own mental health and my own future and their future really depended on me getting to a better place where I could be there to take care of them. And so, yeah, it was not an easy decision, but it's one that needed to be made.
Well, I hear you, because in order for me, I was married a long time. In order for me to have myself, a sense of self, I would, go out a lot with my girlfriends. And sometimes I was one, like you're saying, an hour and a half away. Sometimes I think I feel guilty, should I be, because if the kids are home, even though that by that time they were in high school, high school, they only care about you if they want money or if they're home and bored anyway. But suddenly what happens? I happen to go out. What is it? They're home and bored. So, I would feel a lot of guilt, and a lot of guilt for when I first became a teacher, being completely exhausted and missing some of the games because I just couldn't see straight. And I would feel, I think the guilt was the hardest thing for me while I was married. And after, we all have decisions. And I don't necessarily regret it, because it brings me from one place to the other. Because if I did something different now, going back, as I say, I'd probably make another mistake. I'd say, gee whiz, I wish I could, But I'm very grateful, because, I woke up one day and I just said, well, it wasn't one day, it was for many years. Let's get honest.
Yeah.
But I knew that that I had lost my own personal integrity in many ways.
Yeah. And yeah, I think every decision we make brings us to the next stage in our lives. And I would not be a business owner today if I hadn't left 4 years ago. So, and because I'm a business owner, I get to be more present for them. Like, that has given me such freedom, physically, emotionally, for them, that I can be home. I can go to their school and volunteer. Well, not these days, but that's the freedom that I was given when I, was given the opportunity to leave the education world and pursue my own business. So yeah, I would not be here today if I had not made certain decisions many years ago.
How did you stumble upon Tupperware? What was it about Tupperware? Now, I know Tupperware because we've talked before. I've grown up with Tupperware. And I got to tell you, I'm not putting in a plug, okay? I'm really not. But I was very shocked, because I know Tupperware as being that old crappy stuff. Everybody buys it because it's good stuff, a little expensive, but it's good stuff. Then I went to a Tupperware get-together at your house before COVID, and I was shocked. I was really shocked. It's like all of a sudden, it was like really great stuff. I mean, I couldn't believe it. You could have a slow cooker. the stuff they have is pretty. I mean, it's like color coordinated. I was like, this is, I was so shocked. I was like, this is Tupperware? And they, Tupperware's major league when I was growing up because, they had a corner on the market. I mean, ugly as it was, it had a corner on the market. Now it's gorgeous.
Yeah. Well, what's really cool is Tupperware still is a leader in an industry. We are technologically advanced. We're even in space. Like NASA has actually contracted with us many, many years ago, and we have Tupperware products in space literally feeding the astronauts fresh fruits and vegetables. So we designed a system that was designed to last because they knew the Tupperware name, the high quality, that it was going to last forever. They could trust that, we would put in the time, the engineers, the effort to create a product that works. So we grow fruits and vegetables on the space station in zero gravity. And then we have, technologically advanced systems and processes as well, where we're the only company to take single-use plastics and turn them into food-safe plastic. So all those crunchy water bottles and fruit cups that the kids are eating from and people are still consuming that just litter our landfills and fill our oceans, Tupperware collects them, breaks them down, reprocesses them, does all their fancy science stuff, and turns them into food-safe plastic with the same guarantee and high quality that we all have known to love and remember. And so, it's really a great company to work for. Definitely expanded. We're far more than what people know from the past. So we are, your kitchen, everything. So
they really are.
Yeah. And my job within Tupperware is to share not only how far we've come technologically, but to help people create that efficient kitchen so they can get back to their friends and their family and having fun and living life, because that's what I want people to do, is live the life we've been given. So, I mean, it's what's been given back to me. I get my kids back because I have an efficient kitchen. I have efficient systems. I get to be there with my kids.
You're also out of a bad marriage too, I mean, let's get honest about it. I mean,
there's a few other ingredients in there too, but
I mean, if I could just have an efficient kitchen and life would be perfect, let me tell you, I would get it. I'm just teasing you, but really, I mean, we all know Tupperware is great. Do you have to buy your own stuff with Tupperware? Because I there's some places that I know I've lived into where you have to buy your own inventory. Do you buy it there?
We are encouraged not to keep inventory. So everything is ordered and shipped directly to the customer. I love meeting people, and I love, acquiring exclusive items, colors, products, because what's really cool is Tupperware is actually known internationally. We have facilities in Germany, in China, and Australia, and all over. They have products that we don't make here in the US. So occasionally, like once a year, every couple of years, we'll get a product that isn't sold here. And I'll get a few. And then all of a sudden at the vendor shows and craft shows and holiday markets, I have something exclusive. I have something that no one else has. So I keep a little bit of stock of those exclusive things because I think it's fun to have something new and unique that people are like, oh, where's that from? I'm like, that was made in Australia. And it's from the Australia market. Happy to add it to your kitchen. So, but no, we don't keep inventory as a general rule of thumb.
Well, that's a good, because especially now in COVID, I mean, most people, at least people that want to live and be courteous, wear masks and don't go and, have the parties and everything like I would know of. And so it's and this is something you can do virtually as well. If you were thinking of collaborating, nowadays with all the women thinking about, having a collaboration of some sort, and what are the characteristics of somebody that you would want to collaborate with?
I love high energy people. So, I mean, as you can probably tell, I love having fun. It's a big part of my life. And when I say fun, I don't mean like party animal, staying out late, being crazy. I mean, enjoying life and having, social get-togethers. I loved the in-home party. So I love meeting high energy people who, they're big dreamers just like me. I have huge dreams. I always have. And It's one of the reasons I had to leave, is my dreams were constantly squashed. And that's an unfortunate reality for many people. And I like collaborating with people who have dreams and passion to pursue it, because I'm very solution minded. So when I'm hearing somebody tell me about their dreams, their goals, where they want to take their life, their business, their family, I'm like, oh, let's do it this way or this way or this way or this way. and it helps me get ideas, and it helps them have ideas. And then we just go back and forth. And so, yeah, big dreamers, people who just love to smile and have fun and laugh. Those are just some great qualities for just general people, but they make really fun coworkers and collaborators too.
And the great thing is that, you know, you brought up something that I think is so important for us to remember, especially in this time. It's okay to have fun. It's okay to laugh. It's okay to take that time to even do nothing. Because I have to structure doing nothing in my day. I structure my yoga. I do yoga a lot, and I structure my day because I deserve that. And I would do that for a long time. You know, I'd always think it had to be productive or something. And now I know that, especially now, I think that balance is so important, and that some of our old messages are ready to go out the window. You know, I'm sure that some of them are, you know, mine used to be, if I'm doing nothing, it means I'm not productive. You know? And it doesn't always have to mean that way. So this is such a great time, and I know women I'm dealing with and talk with, to reevaluate some of our things and to have a great time. Also, it's a lot easier, I hate to say to sell, that sounds a little conniving, but, you know, to enjoy, to like being around. Because I had a great time at that party I went to, your old home. It was a lot of fun. And I have to say, you've got a ton of Tupperware. I mean, that is great stuff. I was very impressed. I mean, looking around and seeing it. And also, more than anything, seeing you in it. Because it's you putting your special mark on it, and how you know, we all have our special gifts, and yours sounds like problem solving, but in a fun way. Isn't that great?
Yes. Yeah. And you had mentioned something that I think is so important for people to realize, that downtime is important, and downtime can be fun, or it can be quiet. It can be with people, or it can be by yourself. Something that I recently thought of is, if your world is crumbling around you, leave the building for a little while. and you never know what, you know, solutions are going to come to you when you just step outside, literally or figuratively, and just get into a calm, quiet space and just shift your mind for just a little bit. We're not abandoning the problems and the situations in our worlds. Just sometimes we're not ready to deal with them. And that was not okay when I was married. And that was one of the reasons I left, is I've had to deal with things as they approached. I wasn't allowed downtime. And I think it is so important that we take that time for ourselves, so that we are level-headed and clear-minded when we do approach the problems and situations and overwhelmingness that life can throw at us. It's very important.
Well, yeah, and the great thing is that although we work many hours, I'm sure you do, that's my hunch, we can structure it so it doesn't really seem like work what I do. I mean, I work a lot of hours, probably the same amount as I did as a teacher. The only difference is I'm not sick half the time from being exhausted from stress, and I'm not, you know, I'm not stressed out because I'm doing something I really love. And so are you, and it shows, because we are our business. I don't think there's a you that, you know, suddenly the cameras go off and we're different than what we are in front of it. What a gift.
No, this is me. So.
Well, that's a great thing, because and what I also think is that the way that we also partner, because I really believe, I know I can't do my business by myself. I value other women. I value what they have to say, reaching out, just connecting, and knowing that even if, you know, we're in different businesses, but there's a lot similar. How we approach it, what we do, you know, things like that. And just to know that there's somebody out there that is interested and supportive. And I know that you and I have had what they call one-on-ones, where we talk and you know, you said, how can I be, you know, how can we help one another with our businesses? And I think that is such a great way for us women and all of us to go nowadays. Because, there's plenty to go around. There's plenty
Yes.
for all of us.
There's a lifetime supply of people to connect with and help, and a lifetime supply of people who need you. So yeah, if we all help each other out, then we all get access to that lifetime supply. And it's not my lifetime supply, it's all of our lifetime supplies. So it's an infinite number of opportunities, and why not connect each other to them?
Well said. Beautifully said. Well, gosh, the time sure has whipped on by there. I was kind of surprised. Thank you so much. It's been a real delight having you.
I appreciate you inviting me on. It's been wonderful.
I'm so glad. Thank you, and we will be in touch